Afternoon, gentlemen. For those of you that are online, it has occurred to me that I did not get a chance to go over the instruments clearly with you, but those of you that are watching this as a review for your test, here we are. My plan is that I have the instruments listed, and I will kind of have a text box underneath. I will also include images for ones that I might not have on me, but this will really help you to become successful with the test. So, number one instrument I want to show you is a funnel. Funnels are used outside of the lab, really. It funnels out waste of sorts. So like when I have water going through here and I want to drain it out, I can drain out a sample water with this by putting in a type of like, you know, like what you use for coffee? Can't remember the word. Filter paper. Big brain. Filter paper in here with a sample, and I can have water go through it, and then that way I get rid of any liquid waste that I do not want in a sample. So that's what I would use a funnel for, and I could hold it over a beaker so that way it drains somewhere. So this is a funnel. Number two is a beaker, which we've all had experience with. Beakers are used to measure volume. They come in all different shapes and sizes. They are glassware. Here's one beaker that I have. I have multiples. This one is a 600 milliliter. These are a lot more expensive than what we'll use. However, beaker volume, it's not accurate. Remember, your estimated digit is always going to be kind of in that tens place. You're never going to have an exact measurement for a beaker. Number three. Graduated cylinder. We've dealt with these bad boys a lot. We use them to measure volume. These are glass. This is a 50 milliliter graduated cylinder. These are used so that way if it tips over, it's like safe, it won't break. You just might lose your substance inside, so be careful with that. These are more accurate for measuring volume because I can go by the ones and I can have an estimated digit into the decimals place. Again, this is one that we will use a lot in lab. Number four. This is a ring stand with a ring clamp. Number four is ring clamp. Ring clamps are used so that way I could put something called a steel gauze on top of it, and I could have a sample here. So that way if I'm burning something up with a Bunsen burner, I do not have to hold it for a really long amount of time. Typically these are used if you're burning or warming something up for an extended period of time. You just put the steel gauze on top, and then you'll put whatever you need on top as well. Steel gauze is number five. I will include an image here. This is what our steel gauze looks like, and this is what we would be using in the lab. The steel gauze is what goes on the ring clamp. Next is the ring stand. This ring stand is what holds our clamp, as well as can hold a test tube clamp. So I can hold a test tube as well. This stand is known for its stand, and you typically will have a Bunsen burner next to it. It's so that way you're suspending something in the air and you don't have to hold it. Number seven is an evaporating dish. This is what an evaporating dish looks like. These are used when you want to evaporate a substance quickly. So that way you can measure it. So typically you will use these if you want to evaporate out any extra water or liquid from a substance. Number eight is a rubber stopper. I'm also going to be showing you number 10, which is a test tube. Rubber stoppers and test tubes are used together often. Sometimes I can put a chemical in here and I put water in here that I want to dissolve rapidly. And to dissolve it rapidly, I can speed it up by shaking up my test tube so that way I evaporate it quicker, or dissolve it quicker, in the test tube. What's important to note is that you'll always kind of have your thumb over it, and you'll lightly hold it into the test tube. Never, ever, ever jam it in. You want to be able to remove it, but keeping your finger on top and shaking allows you not to lose any of your substance on the inside. Number 9 is a crucible, similar to our evaporating dish. Here's a comparison. Here's my evaporating dish, here's my crucible. Crucibles are used when you're heating up something, so typically I'm not evaporating anything out of this. So I'd hold it over a Bunsen burner and heat up the sample that is inside. 11 is a thermometer. These are, oops, there we go, is a thermometer. Thermometers are always used when you're measuring temperature, and in this case, we will always use Celsius when we're measuring temperature. These should be stored upright at all times. Number 12 is a mass balance. The mass balance is used when you're measuring the mass of an item, such as a sample, or if I'm measuring gum or anything. So this is used when you do turn it on, make sure it's always on a flat surface and that you tear out and zero it before measuring your item. We have a Bunsen burner right here. This is used when you want to have a controlled flame in the lab. I have a tube that will connect it to our gas, which in the lab, and I always have those off. You'll control it. We'll get practice with this semester. However, this is where I get my flame out when I'm heating something up in the lab. And finally is my pipette. We've used these a couple times in lab already. I will suck up water and I will poke it out. There are different types of pipettes. There are ones that are bigger, there are ones that are smaller, surprisingly, because there's micro pipettes. However, typically we'll use one of these in the lab because it's a lot safer. It's also a really safe way to move substances or getting your samples for the lab. Those are all the instruments that I have for you. So if you have any questions, please let me know, but you do need to know these for the test. So there is the instruments for you. Have a wonderful day, and bye.